What's up, guys? Crypto Muser here with your daily news and analysis in the crypto markets. Now, our good old pal, SEC Chair Gary Gensler, was on Fox Business yesterday doing his usual routine of dodging questions, not giving any clarity to the market. Typical Gary Gensler, right? He was asked about Ethereum and XRP, didn't want to talk about it, kind of leaned towards Ethereum being a security, which was very interesting. We're going to watch this clip in a second, but it just goes to tell you that he does not care about investors. This whole regulation by enforcement strategy of the SEC is only going to hurt more and more investors. And me being an XRP investor, it definitely hurt me. I mean, XRP sold on the open market 7+ years, right? I do my due diligence, I do my research, I get into a project like XRP thinking I'm in a good project. If I lose money, right? If XRP goes down, it goes to zero. If Ripple goes out of business, then I lose, and that's on me, right? I made a bad investment. But the fact that the SEC is the reason why I lost money and the reason why 100,000 plus people got hurt as XRP holders in the tune of $15 billion, that cannot happen, guys. That the government agency sworn to protect investors can't be hurting investors along the lines of $15 billion. This lawsuit is only for $1.3 billion in damages. And the fact that they hurt $15 billion in XRP holders, how does that make any sense at all, right? Was Ripple doing anything illegal? I mean, according to the SEC, they were selling illegal securities, but were they frauding anybody? Were they scamming anybody? No. So why did you, without warning, come down with Ripple with this lawsuit and hurt all these investors? It makes no sense, right? And in this video, I want to go over a couple reasons of why I think Gary Gensler is going to have a tough couple of years ahead. But before I get into the video, I just want to say if you could please like and subscribe, the bell for notification would be very much appreciated. I'm trying to grow this channel as best I can, and just by hitting that quick like button or subscribing helps that YouTube algorithm get this video out there so I can grow my channel. So I really appreciate it if you guys could please like and subscribe. But moving on, so I want to show you this quick snippet of this interview, and then we'll talk about it, and I'll talk about John Deaton's interview here. John Deaton's tweet here.
What confuses a lot of people, Gary, and if you could really clarify here, is, where do you draw the line, the distinction between what is a security and what is an actual currency? Example A, what Ripple did, selling XRP to build out its underlying blockchain network, no different than example B, Ethereum floating an ICO, a coin offering to help its underlying Ethereum blockchain. There is no difference, a lot of people say.
So Liz, you started by saying you weren't going to ask me about specific cases, and so if I can help the audience. I said
example A, example B.
Yeah, but I help the audience know that it's not. I'm not really allowed to talk about specific cases, but it's pretty straightforward. Raise money from the public, as you say. We have a basic bargain of full and fair disclosure and anti-fraud protections, and you register with the government agency called the Securities and Exchange Commission. And that's really what we're trying to do, is help continue with that basic bargain. We're technology neutral. If people want to invest or speculate in this field, then these tokens, and most importantly, the platforms, the trading and lending platforms, come in, register, do it within the law, not trying to skirt the law.
This is exactly why I have a problem with Gary. He just muddied the waters more and more right there, right? He basically said Ethereum was a security. How can you say that? The past administration, the past SEC said that, Ethereum was not a security. The CFTC says Ethereum is a commodity. So how can you hint that Ethereum is a security? That just, makes it more and more unclear for investors. And like I said in the early here, it's just going to hurt more and more investors by not giving clear guidance to the market. And the fact that he's telling exchanges or platforms to come in and register as securities, how are we supposed to know what a security is if you won't tell us what it is? And this is what John Deaton says here. Let's just read the tweet. He won't comment on any specific token about whether it is or isn't a security, but he insists that exchanges come in and register that they are selling securities. So exactly, if a security, if you don't tell us what a security is, if we're supposed to just know which token is a security or which token isn't a security. How are exchanges supposed to come in and register these tokens as securities? It just makes no sense. And he knows it, right? All he cares about is himself, right? He wants big settlements, just like this BlockFi settlement, $100 million settlement with the SEC, big headline for, Gary Gensler and his career and his ego. He wants to be Treasurer's Secretary. So he wants big headlines. He thought this Ripple case was going to be the big case for him to put his name out there, and he was going to be. Look at every politician out there. All they care about is power. They don't care about people. They don't care about investors, and especially this guy. This guy could care less about investors. If he actually cared about investors, he wouldn't be doing this regulation by enforcement strategy, right? Where he just hurts more and more investors, and it's just going to happen more and more as he does this. And that's why we need Congress or the White House to step in and stop this guy, because he needs to be held accountable. I mean, he's not going to stop at Ripple. He's not going to stop at BlockFi or Celsius or, now he's going after Binance US. He's going to go after one after another. And just remember, guys, even if you guys do not like XRP and Ripple, it's not about just XRP and Ripple. It's about the whole cryptocurrency space. So just pay attention to what he's doing, because this needs to stop. So, back to John Deaton's tweet. He says, I predict when he has to testify before Congress next year, he will resign. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So Hasher Capital replies to that tweet and says, I hope you're right, but I don't think there's any chance that Gensler resigns voluntarily on his own accord. He's doing exactly what he's been charged to do, incumbent protection. Potentially, I could see him being asked to step down when the Dems are crushed in the midterms. And then John Deaton comes back with, if my computer will load, I'm not suggesting he will resign this year, but if the Republicans take control of the House and Senate, he will likely be in the hearings having to answer questions about being the CFO for Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign and about his crypto approach. At that point, I think he resigns. So what John Deaton is saying here, and I'm not trying to get political here, but just kind of the facts of the case here. If and when the Republicans take control of the House and Senate, that means that they can, have hearings, have investigations, whatever they want to do, right? And this whole Clinton campaign, Russia scandal, BS, or whatever you want to call it. I guess Gary Gensler was the CFO of Hillary Clinton's campaign, so he obviously had a lot to do with that whole Russia thing. So, the Republicans are going to bring him in to testify. And they're going to, oh my God, they're going to eat him up. If the Republicans have the House and Senate, then obviously Gary Gensler is going to be, fed to the wolves here. And as much as I'm not trying to get political here, but I would love to see that. I would just love to see Gary Gensler get really asked some tough questions finally. And, the Republicans, the reason why I really think they're going to win the midterms is because of crypto. I think it's the main issue that's going to be in the midterms. The Republicans, most Republicans are for crypto and most Democrats are against. So bottom line is, I think that's going to be the main issue of this midterm. I think it's going to be the main issue of the presidential election in 2024. But like I said, it wouldn't hurt me to see Gary Gensler get, eaten up by these Republican senators and representatives. So we will see what happens. And just very interesting. Just want to show you these tweets because I didn't think about that until I saw that tweet, because I read that on Twitter the other day about him being the CFO of Clinton's 2016 campaign, and the Republicans are going to bring him in to testify during hearings and investigations. So we'll see what happens, but very interesting. Just wanted to throw that by you guys. So moving on to the next thing I saw. So along that with that interview with hold on a sec, pause it. With that interview with Gary Gensler on Fox Business, Charles Gasparino, he's one of the journalists on Fox Business who's been covering this Ripple case. It was good to see. I want to show this video in a second, but it's good to see that he reminds me of most XRP holders and myself when we see Gary Gensler do these things. I just get so frustrated with this guy because he keeps dodging questions. He won't give any clarity to the market. He hurt me as an investor, obviously, but it just boggles my mind that this guy could do something like this, right? And Charles Gasparino, I guess, and let's just read the tweet and I'll talk about what he's talking about. Crypto Law, this is John Deaton's Crypto Law website. Charles Gasparino blasts Gary Gensler as pathetic for refusing to answer about the ETH free pass today on Fox Business. Watch the whole clip and see how XRP holders respectfully engaging journalists brings results. So what he's saying here is that, when Charles Gasparino first started covering this lawsuit, he didn't really have all the facts of the case, didn't have all the facts about XRP and Ripple, but he did his research, obviously, and then, he got educated by, John Deaton and other XRP community members, and you can see now that he sees it from our perspective. He sees that, this guy hurt investors, and he's going to keep hurting investors the way he does things. And it's just funny to see Charles Gasparino. I'm going to show you the video. He gets so worked up talking about Gary Gensler, and it just makes me, smile, because this is exactly how XRP holders feel on a daily basis with this guy.
And this is potentially huge. I know the market's up today. It's taken a breather, and I know AMC is off its lows. It was as low as $15 or $14 a share. It's at 18, 19 now, but it's down 80% from its highs. And if it goes down to $10 a share, which it really could if the Fed starts tightening, if it does 50 basis points, people are going to say, where was the investor protection? And I'll tell you, these esoteric things. I mean, did Ripple's unregistered XRP really hurt anybody? No.
Well, Charlie, hold on.
Right.
The one thing that I thought was really important here, number one, I did try very hard to push him on what is the difference between what Ethereum is versus Ripple
pathetic.
XRP.
That's so
and they
pathetic
do that.
Liz, that is so pathetic he punted on that. He is taking a case that he was handed by Jay Clayton, the SEC chair under Trump. He's pushed it forward as aggressively or more aggressively than Jay Clayton did. Mm-hmm. It has literally, what was done on Ripple is not that much contextually or materially different than what Ether did.
Okay. Why
is one okay and not the other? It's mind-boggling that he continues. By the way, he continues to sidestep that.
And really let me just finish one thing.
It's like, I totally feel for Charles Gasparino. That's how we feel on a daily basis, honestly. Like, the fact that Gary Gensler can keep doing this stuff and not be held accountable is unbelievable. And when he says, did Ripple do anything? Did they defraud anybody? Did they scam any investors? No, they didn't do anything. People were, Ripple is like trying to change the world in payments. They've had a tough job for the last, 6-7 years in trying to, get banks on board with their products. And they've done a great job. They're growing all around the world. It's the U.S. that's been dragging their feet with this technology. So the fact that they're going, and also they're an American company. Ether and Bitcoin, you could say that they're mostly out of country. Obviously Bitcoin is owned by nothing, but the Ethereum Foundation is basically based not in the U.S., right? XRP and Ripple is an American company, an American software company. And the fact that Gary Gensler and the SEC are going after and trying to stifle innovation in this country should be a red flag for most people, and it's not. So I implore you guys to, even if you're not an XRP and Ripple fan, I implore you guys to, do more research into what XRP and Ripple are doing, do more research into this lawsuit, because it has a lot to do with the whole crypto space. And look what's going on. You have Binance US, the SEC's going after now. You have, just this BlockFi settlement. They're going after Celsius. They're going after, name your crypto. They're going after you guys next. So just know that Gary Gensler is not stopping at these exchanges and at Ripple. He's on a crusade, basically, to go after cryptocurrency. And he has a help now of friggin' Elizabeth Warren in the Senate. And you know how I feel about her? Oh my God, I can't stand looking at that woman's face. Not political. Kids show. Moving on. So I saw this tweet by XRP Crypto Wolf, and it's a very good point here. The Ripple lawsuit could make XRP the only asset with regulatory clarity in the U.S. So if Ripple wins this lawsuit, which it looks like they are, the next couple weeks or a month when this thing settles, which I believe that it will settle, that means XRP will be the only cryptocurrency with clarity in the US. And you could argue that Bitcoin would be also have clarity because you can't call Bitcoin a security. There's no way. But obviously, in that interview I showed at the beginning of the video, Gary Gensler kind of hinted towards Ethereum being a security. So don't be surprised if they go after Ethereum after this lawsuit. But if XRP is if XRP and Bitcoin are the only two cryptocurrencies with clarity in the US, what do you think that's going to do to the price of XRP? There is, I'll tell you right now, there is plenty of institutions and big banks and big money sitting on the sideline waiting for this lawsuit to end. And as soon as they do not be surprised if XRP goes, who knows? I'm not financial advice, but I'm talking, definitely past all-time high, $8, $10, $12, $15. Who really knows? We've seen, if you've been in crypto long enough, you've seen how these price moves can move very quickly. Within a month, this thing can go from, $1 to $10. So just keep an eye on that, guys. Like I said, not financial advice, but keep an eye on XRP because this could lead the whole market coming in the next couple months. So moving on to my last thing I want to talk about in this video. So I have this diagram here about the differences between XRP and Bitcoin. A lot of people ask me questions all the time. Why do you like XRP so much? It's a banker's coin. It's centralized and all this. It is not. It is decentralized. It is one of the best decentralized platforms out there. And I implore you guys to do more research if you think that XRP is a banker's coin and all this nonsense. Because even if you have questions about XRP, please leave it in the comments down below. I'd be gladly answer any questions you have. But let's just go over some of the differences between XRP and Bitcoin, and why XRP is more for payments and Bitcoin is just more that decentralized, store value, digital gold aspect, right? So let's go over some of the differences here. So general info. Obviously, we know the tickers. Launch date, XRP was launched in 2012, Bitcoin 2009. Creators, obviously Satoshi Nakamoto for Bitcoin. Creators of XRP were Arthur Brito, Jed McCaleb, and David Schwartz. Jed McCaleb, a couple of years later, went back. He actually created XLM. Also, David Schwartz and Arthur Brito were some of the original developers on the Bitcoin blockchain. So when they wanted to create XRP, they wanted to make a better version of Bitcoin, basically. They weren't saying Bitcoin, they weren't hating on Bitcoin. I'm not hating on Bitcoin. But, Bitcoin was the original, right? It was the OG. It was clunky, it was old, but it's the OG, so it will always be there. And there's only going to be 21 million. It's a deflationary asset, not going anywhere, right? But David Schwartz and Arthur Brito were developers in Bitcoin, and they wanted to make a better version of Bitcoin, and that's what they did. They made a more scalable, faster, more energy-efficient Bitcoin. So let's get into it. So use case for XRP, global settlements, cross-border payments, micropayments, and trading. Use case for Bitcoin, store of value, and peer-to-peer payments. Smallest unit, one drop, one XRP equals 1 million drops. For Bitcoin is one Satoshi, one Bitcoin, or 100 million Satoshis is one Bitcoin. And then trading info, obviously this is from 2020, so I'm not going to get into the market cap and circulating supply, but total max supply, 100 billion XRP, total supply in Bitcoin, 21 million. All-time high for XRP, it's still $3.80. For Bitcoin, obviously it's 69, I think it's 69,200, I want to say. Then we get into energy consumption. This is a big issue here. So XRP uses 0.01 terawatts. That is like nothing. So they even give you a little example here. 0.01 terawatts, power consumption of Vatican City population 1,000. And Bitcoin uses 73.12 terawatts, power consumption of Austria population 9 million. So you see the difference between, obviously, the energy consumption between Bitcoin and XRP. Let's get into the technical info. Transactions per second. XRP 1,500 transactions per second, which even can be more because when they batch transactions, it can be 20, 50,000 transactions per second, honestly. So it's very scalable. For Bitcoin, it's seven transactions per second. Speed for per transaction. The average, it's 3 to 5 seconds, so they average it out at 4 seconds per transaction. For Bitcoin, it's 60 plus minutes transactions. Average transaction fee. This is even crazier. For XRP, the average transaction fee is 0.000003. That's like how many transactions would it take to get us to a cent? That's crazy, right? That's amazing. Bitcoin is 50 cents plus per transaction. And we all know Ethereum's transaction fees. Consensus mechanism, XRP uses a consensus algorithm. Bitcoin obviously uses proof of work. And then we get into features. So smart contract features, XRP has them. Bitcoin doesn't. Decentralized exchange. XRP is one of the original decentralized exchange on its platform. Bitcoin does not. Escrow feature. I'll get into the escrow feature in another video, but Bitcoin has no escrow. XRP does. And then mining, obviously, Bitcoin has mining, and XRP has pre-mined tokens. I mean, that's why it's more energy efficient. So those are just some of the differences between XRP and Bitcoin. So you can see why XRP is better, has a better use case for payments and peer-to-peer payments, right? If you want to buy a cup of coffee, it'd obviously be easier and more beneficial to use XRP than Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin will always be there. Like I said, I'm nothing against Bitcoin, but it's just not for payments. It's not for peer-to-peer payments as much as it says here in use cases. So, like I said, if you have any other questions about XRP, please leave down in the comments down below. Hope you like the video. Hope you like the content. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And thank you guys so much. Just remember, I am not a financial advisor. Please do not take anything I write or say as financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. And thanks, guys, and we will see you on the next one.